Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and man, Ringside crew, my American fans, what's going on, everybody? My UK fans, as always, I love you all. You guys are so part of my heart since I had Kiara on the podcast back in the day. As I always say, she has that nail above the internationally known letters. It says, in my little heart, it says, Kiara helped, as she says. She gets a tear in her eye every time I say that. But today, I have a young man that is blazing a trail for himself. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Zac Walker. Welcome, Zac. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside.
Hello. Thank you for having me. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity, really, just to come on the podcast.
Awesome, Zac.
Yeah.
So, Zac, if my internationally known audience, mainly my American fans, the East Coast, like the American fans that love independent wrestling as much as I do, # support independent wrestling.
Yes.
Any chance you go to a show, check it out. So even though how many people may not be that I interview may not come from the United States, some of them come from the UK and Spain and anywhere in the country. Introduce yourself to my American fans.
Yeah, hello. I'm Zac. I really haven't been doing this a long time. I've been training for about 2 years, give or take. Yeah, I think it's just actually this week, 2 years ago this week, was my first time I ever went to a wrestling training session. So yeah, so I've been training for 2 years, and then I think I've been doing shows for about just under a year. So I'm still very new into this, and I've still got a lot to learn. But I'm making waves for myself pretty much.
Awesome, Zac. So, what was the moment that you knew that you wanted to be a professional wrestler?
Oh, see, there's a few things I always say, because I only got into professional wrestling very late. It must have been about 2014, so I've only been a wrestling fan for not even 10 years now. And I'm speaking to some of the lads who I train with, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been late 90s or 2000s." I'm like, I'm very late to this, but it was actually during the first lockdown, because I always knew like wrestling, there was this, that, and the other, but I didn't know you could there was places mainly in the UK where I can train. So obviously at the moment I train at PCW, Rascals Professional Wrestling Academy in Blackpool. I go to LWF. I go really anywhere I can at the moment, just to get more people, more knowledge and more views on it. Because obviously professional wrestling, one person could do one thing one way, another will do it in different ways, but they're all the same way. It's weird, but it is all the same but different. So yeah, yes, but I remember it was during the first lockdown in 2020. I was just, as most of us are doing, just inside, just watching YouTube, watching whatever, and I was just surfing through, and I actually found the PCW YouTube channel, and then I was just pretty much just watching old PCW stuff when they had Austin Aries, then Matt Riddle, then Gargano, Kevin Steen at the time, Prince Devitt. I was and they were the main people who mainly got me into wrestling. So that's why I always if anyone ever asked, that was that is the time frame I mainly got into independent wrestling. But obviously, I still remember the first ever wrestling I ever watched was WrestleMania 30, and it was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. That was the first ever professional wrestling match I watched.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it was some match, because I remember I just come home. I just went over to my nan's because my uncle and auntie was moving out at the time, and there was a bit of muddling with the house and all this other stuff. So they had to stay at my nana's for a while. And my uncle, he had just finished work. He used to work nights, and he was watching WrestleMania 30. And I just came to see him. And I said, "Oh, what's this?" He said, "Oh, it's wrestling. Come and watch." And that's when I fell in love with wrestling, pretty much.
So, I know by me in the States, you just have to know someone to find out about a school or a promotion. But for you, how did you find the school that you go to? Was it a friend or something like that?
Well, it technically was, because I went to a PCW show in late 2021. It was a 10th anniversary show. My mate just said, "Oh, there's some wrestling," because I always talk to him about it. He said, "Oh, there's some wrestling just in Preston," which is a 20-minute drive from where I am now in Blackburn. So it's we went there, we watched the show, and I actually spoke to Stephen Fludder, who runs PCW, afterwards. And I asked him about what would I go about training. And he said, you can train in Preston with us if you want. So when I was and ahhing about it, about a year later, because I always said to my mate, we'll train together, and we'll go do whatever we want together. But with him, since I'm a year older than him, he was still like finishing the back stage of his like education. So he was really not like up for it at the time. And then I was going to start in late 2022. When sadly I lost my grandma, she was so inspirational for me with wrestling. Like she said, because I kept saying, oh, I don't know if you want to do it. She said, just do it, give it a go. If you don't like it, you've tried it. So yeah, that's why every time now, whenever I make my entrance, I always do that. Because I have a tattoo that you can't see it. It's like a poppy. It's a poppy and it's got the date she died on. So every time I make my entrance, I always do that and give it a kiss and point up for her. So yeah, see, she was major inspiration, like my rock, when in many times in my life. So when I lost her, I was absolutely devastated.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
It's all right.
So sorry. So now let's flash it a little bit farther in your wrestling career. Were you prepared for your first match, or did you know that it was going to happen and they gave you like the rundown before?
Well, it's funny because it was so it was like an open ring sort of thing. So it was just trainee matches, but we had like a little crowd. But on the day I didn't know I was going to be wrestling. Just said get some gear prepared just in case we need someone to wrestle. Which I thought, okay, that's fine with me. So I got my Yoma gear. Fun fact, it's still the same gear I wear now, but I am currently like working on getting some actual gear made because obviously at the moment it's just some tights off Amazon. So I do need to make that step up now. But yeah, I still remember one of my mates, Fabio, he drove me to the place and he came and watched it. And then they were like, oh, we need a ring announcer. So they got him ring announcing. Me had my first ever match, which was against Liam Kafke, who he's been training, I think he's been training for about 5 years, but on and off because like COVID and everything. But he has actually, him and Ernest Boggs are two people who are like, I can always say they've helped me so much during my time in wrestling. And obviously you've got my trainers, so I always count, because when anyone asks me, oh, who you trained by, I always say CJ Banks, who he's just recently retired. He was doing it for he's done it for just over 20 years. But he's genuinely, anything technical, anything that aspect, he's so good at. So he's taught me so much. And then I also give credit to Philip Michael, who is the current PCW World Heavyweight Champion. And because when I first started, I could not do like anything whatsoever. It was horrible to watch. But obviously over time, just getting better and better. But then he also helped me because I also want to do some aerial stuff. And I was like, should a guy my size really be doing that? And he said, if you want to give it a try, give it a try. So anything now. So anytime I do a drop kick, off the top rope, whatever, even when I do my suicide dives, he's the one who taught me how to do all of that like safely. And yeah, and the last person I always count for my trainer, I give Rossi Rascal a big shout out for it because since he started his adult classes about this time last year, me and Boggs, we've always gone down, helped him out a bit wherever we can. But I've also learned so much from like the psychological aspect of it, like why are you doing this, who's doing it, and all like little things like that you just like slowly pick up over time. But he's been doing this, he's not been doing it for too long, but with Ross, he first teaching stuff then actually doing it. That's what he said, he'd first been teaching wrestling but actually performing. But he's such a good teacher, I can understand why, because he teaches his judo and everything else, and it's like I can understand why he wants to teach it more.
Yeah, it's crazy when it comes to professional wrestling. Like, you think that, okay, this is gonna be my one match that I do, and then you get fans. So since you've been in the wrestling business, like, and you're out in public with like in street clothes, have you had anybody like approach you that when you're out on the street?
There was one instance where it was pretty much just, so we did a show in Blackpool with PCW, and it was like a few hours before the show, so we're just out. We've already set the ring up, so we've gone just to get some food mainly, and we walked just a bit down the road, and there's a Subway, so we go in, and there's like about 5 fans there, and it was me, and I was with Anthony Getsky at the time, and we look at each other like, because Getsy's like, he's a bit iffy with like talking to fans and stuff, so like, I've got this, so I just talked to them all, just having a little chat with them mainly, but that's probably the closest experience I've had to that so far. Sorry.
So on the week of a show, do you have like a set workout that you do that you know that won't knock you down a peg before the show?
Usually, so it's a funny story. So when I actually go to my day job and stuff, I actually cycle there. So every day, no matter what, I'm doing cardio. So whenever I go to the gym, I like try and cut cardio wherever I can because I know I'm going to be doing. I think it's about 5 miles. So cycle 5 miles there, cycle 5 miles back. So it's like that's already that cardio bit done. But then obviously it's just because at the moment I've been having a problem with my knee and my shoulder. So I've been trying to like work on that, but not like overdo it because I don't want to re-injure myself. But yeah, but it's usually just all round. It's mainly upper body strength I've been working on at the moment because it's all right, but I think I can still work on it more.
So, do you watch like any other wrestling promotions, like indie promotions on like YouTube or anything like that to scout out where you want to go next?
I've watched a few things. So I've been watching. Oh, I've been watching some Odyssey because I've seen bits of it online, which is I think they run mainly Morecambe. Watch a bit of that. I've been watching LWF whenever I can because obviously they're all. I've always said this whenever I've gone to train there, it's just been like you can see like because all of them most of them are so young, and you see they're all different mindsets towards. Obviously, I've been used to some of the older wrestling people, so it's like you see their mindset, you see that, and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make a blend of both of them. So if you still got some of your like British like wrestling, like your chain wrestling, all that other kind of things. But then you also got your new like indie wrestling stuff, like more flips, more of that, more of this. So I'm like trying to make the best of both worlds of it.
Awesome. Do you see yourself ever wrestling like as a tag team, or is it you're just a solo act?
Well, at the moment, as I was saying with the Rascals, I actually at the moment my programming there is I am in a faction. So it's actually that Liam Caffey I was on about before. It's actually me, Liam Caffey, and this lad called A.M. Dawson, who we're all about. I think me and Dawson are a few months apart in age. I mean, Liam's a year older than us. So at the moment, it's called it's a faction called Caffey's World because it's Liam and he's very egotistical and all those other things. So it started out with wrestling in. So we're at PCW Rose Glory about March last year. And then there was a wrestler who was just visiting and stuff. And he said, me and Liam Caffey looked very similar. And he said, oh, you could probably get away with them being brothers. And we're all like joking, oh, yeah, all that stuff. Then Ross pitches me an idea for me and Liam to tag together and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. At first, I didn't really like the idea. I'll be 100% honest. I hated the idea. And I told Ross this a few months ago, and he was very surprised because of how well it's like been portrayed and like how we've done this as a team. So it started as that, and then it's led to me and Dawson. So Ross's last pro show, because he does pro shows and he does kids shows. Because obviously originally he was an academy just for the kids to learn how to wrestle, but then now he's like eventually evolved it into adults wrestling as well. So he did a show with Target a few months ago. Target Wrestling that's based in Carlisle area, and he said to us on the day. So originally our plan was just to be going out with Liam and causing a distraction that helps him win. So then that was that. And Ross came to us when we got there saying, "Okay, we're doing something different." And then he had me and Dawson come out in the main event and help. Like we just beat them down really because it was Ross versus Medallion because they wrestled. I think it was the year before, and Ross beat him in like 10 seconds. So they wanted a proper like rematch. So when we had that match, then me and Dawson cost it, threw it out as a no contest, which then led to a tag team match. So it's just given the opportunity in main event shows like that and just other things like little things. It's like everything's just built up and it's helped so much in my career, even though I'm only a year or two into it.
Oh wow! So when it comes to after the show, where is that one location you go to eat dinner, or do you always just pack a lunch at dinner/lunch so you don't have to go out?
Well, usually the main venue you've been using at the moment, especially with PCW. So me and Liam Caffey, so we usually get a ride from. I usually go to Preston, meet him there, and we get a lift to Blackpool. So then on the way back, there's a place in Preston. It's called Sandoz, and honestly, Liam. He said it to me in Bogs one time. Like, oh, do you want to go to this place I've tried? It's like really nice. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. We went there, and now we've all agreed if we ever do a show anywhere near Preston, we're always going there. But it's like just like a takeout. It's got like burgers, pizzas, kebabs, stuff like that. But then if we do a show at Ross's, it's usually just McDonald's because it's just round the corner from the place, so quick and easy. But it's that sandals is so good.
There's a place that you literally used to come into our chat all the time back in the day. Nando's.
Oh, Nando's. I've tried Nando's once, but it's just I don't mind it, but I just think it was overpriced chicken in my opinion. Like I didn't mind it, but I wouldn't like go out my way to go. Like if a few of us saying, "Oh, we're all going together, we're all going Nando's, do you want to come?" I would go, but I wouldn't go out my way to go there on my own.
Yeah, it was weird. We were doing a live episode, and we weren't even interviewing a British wrestler, and Nando's would pop on Facebook going, "Hey guys," and we're like, and we would go, "Wow, Nando's is here. What's up?" And then I haven't seen them since on Facebook. I'm like, "Nando's, come back. We miss you. Nando's, come back, bro. I'm gonna tag you guys on this on YouTube. Nando's, come back, man. We miss you. Miss the random Nando's appearance." I'm like, "You guys realize we're not Nando's? Do you realize we're not from England? We're from America." Like, I wouldn't mind.
I'm surprised they haven't ventured out to America yet. That's what I'm surprised about. Unless they haven't, I don't know about it.
Yeah, maybe there's a plot.
Yeah.
KFC and the Popeyes are getting a little old in their britches, and I think Nando's are like, "Remember us?" If anybody could send me some Nando's, like make sure the chicken's not cold when he comes to my house, I'll take some Nando's. Like somehow send it in a hot box.
Yeah, somehow and just get it sent over overnight.
Yeah, my mom would be like, "What the hell is this? You're getting t-shirts, now you're getting fried chicken in the mail." He asked me what I wanted, and I said chicken and the whole meal. Yeah. So, Zach, if any of my fans want to pick up any merch, where can they find it?
Well, at the moment, I don't currently have any merch. I've only got 2 pieces. I've got this. I'm in the blue and white one, which is used for the promo picture.
Yeah.
But fun, so I've had quite a few people that come and say, "Oh, you're making merch." I'm like, I handmade these.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's not, because my mate's mum, she has all the stuff, like all the printing stuff. And she said, "Oh," because I speak to her about it. She said, "Oh, if you want, you can just try it out mine if you want." So I've got it. So I like got all the machine already. I printed it on myself. And I also printed on the blue and white one as well.
Okay.
So so if it was to do it, I would have to I'd probably have to bulk order it and do it all that way, and I'll probably ask her to do it.
We'll be sitting there all day long putting the ZW on a t-shirt. Amen. Yeah. Call for dinner. I'm going to be here till 12 midnight. Day of a show. Oh my God, you'll be dead. Your hand.
If I was the case, I wouldn't do it on the day of a show. That's the last thing I'll do. I'll probably get it done a week before. Because it took me, I think this one only took me half an hour. But that's just because it was my first one I ever done. But that blue one was an absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah, because of the sides and everything, probably, right?
Yeah, because originally, I had it. So when I sent it as 2 pieces, so I could just put them together when I iron it on. But it didn't work for some reason, so I had to print out the white one, then just print out the W. So I had to put the ZW white and I had to put the blue one over it, and it was a pain in the backside. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good experience, and I'll definitely do it again because I know a few of my friends have been asking, "Oh, when can we get t-shirts?" Blah blah blah, all this. And even had some wrestlers asking. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't think they were just plain thing. I just like it." So if people wanted it, I'm definitely gonna get it done.
Yeah, it's insane, dude.
Yeah.
With the merch thing, and before we go, if any fans want to follow you on social, how can they find you?
Yeah, so it's Zac Walker _ it's underscore. Let me double check. It's definitely underscore.
Oh geez.
And then is it Zac _Walker _PW? There we go. That's my Instagram.
All right, Zach.
And that's the main thing I really use.
All right. I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Zach. I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Zac Walker.
And we will catch you in the next one.